Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Feels so good to be doing another LinkedIn Live. I'm not doing them as frequently as I used to. And today I'm particularly excited because I'm talking about something that really is very important and very meaningful. And I might get emotional at some point. I haven't gotten emotional on a single LinkedIn Live, but I brought some napkins just in case. No kidding. I should have worn less makeup just in case I do get emotional. So, what we're talking about today, and I mean, to lead into this, I mean, we're talking about giving to others and helping those in need, but to lead into it, it's been such a rough year, right? What a crazy rough year it's been for all of us. And sometimes, and I myself, many of you know, have gone through a lot during the pandemic as far as the business and just the financial hit and impact, etc. A lot of sleepless nights. Um, and often we get caught up in our own struggles and our own bubbles. And I mean, with reason, right? Even though we might know that we're still fortunate to have what we have and we're appreciative, but nonetheless, we do get caught up in our own issues and our own bubbles. We forget sometimes, I forget sometimes that I'm still nonetheless extremely privileged and fortunate, much more so than other people. And so I was on LinkedIn, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I have this awesome, hi Pramal. By the way, anybody who's here, say hi so I can say hi back. I have an awesome LinkedIn contact, LinkedIn friend. Oh, hi Sam, welcome back to Canada. I have this awesome LinkedIn connection, maybe eventually LinkedIn friend, Libby, who has this really cool platform that she created, tech platform called Geenees, that helps people give to those in need, but in a very easy way. Really, you have access to people's Amazon wish list, people who need something. Hi, Christian. People's wish lists on Amazon. Hi, Nadia. And you're able to just buy things for people that they put on their wish list, or buy grocery, gift cards, etc. So do you see how I'm like having a hard time telling? I'm getting a bit choked up. Anyways, 2 weeks ago, I'm sitting on LinkedIn and I see that Libby posted something about, an update or something about the platform, or saying, if you want to help people in need, they click here, one of those posts that she does talking about the platform and giving people access to it. And so I thought, okay, let me check it out. And I click and I see it. I'm like, that's interesting. And I messaged Libby and I said, I do want to do something. How do I sign up to maybe help somebody on a personal level, but also through the business? What do I do? She puts me in contact with one of her colleagues, and her colleague says, what kind of a family would you like to help? What would be the ideal family size? And I go, it really doesn't matter. But then I said, a single parent, mother or father, of course, I think would be really a great place to start. She said, great. And then she sent me a couple of options, and she said, here are two single mothers that have requested some assistance, some help, because they're struggling right now. And so, I'm gonna get emotional. So I go on there, to see their wish list. And I'm a mother, right? And so I go see their wish list, and I'm seeing that they listed the most basic things on their list, like socks for their kids, and like diapers, underwear. There was nothing. I thought it would be like, I don't know, some like Christmas gifts and presents and toys, which is all still great. But seeing those really basic things, I don't think twice when buying for myself, my children. It hit me so hard. I was sitting at a co-working space in a completely open space, and I got really choked up. I got really emotional about it. And so then I wrote back and said, yes, I want to buy those things, but do you think you could tell those mothers to also add some toys to the list, or can I just get toys, like just toys, like what kids prefer? Because what kid's going to be excited about getting socks, right? So it was very emotional. And then the whole weekend, I just couldn't shake that feeling. As I was buying those things, I was getting emotional every single time. And I wrote a post about it on LinkedIn, saying that, I can't stop tearing up, and I can't stop thinking about this, and sharing the story. And I was hesitant about sharing because I thought I don't want people to think, oh, Goody Two Shoes is posting about sharing, and that's not what it was about. And also, I didn't do anything, that's that humongous, and so I shared it. I posted it, and I said, you know what? Check out this platform. And then so many people started commenting saying, oh my God, this is so great. I'm signing up. I'm signing up. I'm signing up. I started getting DMs from people. I'm not joking. I spent the weekend crying, but those were happy tears at this point. But I was so emotionally raw. And every time somebody would message and say, oh, yes, I'm going to do this too, or this is so cool, I would just be like, you are? That's amazing. And I would get really emotional about it. And then I messaged, and then Libby messaged me and said, this is amazing. And so many people are, signing up. And I just couldn't believe that. And it was just such a reminder of the good in the world, how really most people want to help and want to give and want to support each other. It's just, especially we're all in isolation, we forget what other human beings are like. But it's really beautiful. And I'm so grateful to Libby that she created, again, a platform that makes it so easy, because often we want to help and we want to give, but we're kind of get busy. We don't know where, we don't know how. And it's incredible to have a platform that makes it so easy. Okay, I spoke enough. I did not cry, at least not yet. And now I would love, without further delay, to introduce you all to my new friend, Libby. Hi there.
Thank you so much for doing this, and thanks for the story and being a part of this. This is the reason we created it, and you just proved that it works. And so I really appreciate for not only being a donor that supports a full wish list of a family, but also making sure others know about it and know about these options, and the fact that it's you can have this emotional connection with a family without knowing their names. And so that's what it's all about. So thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for facilitating this. This is amazing.
Thank you for doing the work you're doing. And one thing I didn't mention is that the mother sent me a message through the platform. And again, I cried. Right now, I'm going to come off as somebody that cries all the time. It was very touching, because she said, now I am going to get emotional. Damn it. She said, I'm going through a really hard time, and you supported me right now, but I will pay it forward. And as soon as I'm out of this rough place, I will remember this, this good deed or this moment, and I will pay it forward too.
Yeah.
And
And
okay, now you talk.
And you know what? We're all been in situations, and I'm sure all of us at some point when we were kids, right? When our parents needed help, and they remember the small things that others did to just lift them up a little bit. I can tell you many stories of that. And these thank you notes that you received a thank you note, and we see them. We're tracking these thank you notes first, just to make sure that the content, they're not saying their names, anything like that, just to make sure that it's sent correctly. So it's these moments that are important. We want to make sure that families are able to ask for help without saying their names on Facebook. And there's lots of groups that they have to, they don't have any other choice right now. And so having that platform to just let them ask for help in a really meaningful way, but not saying, hey, I'm Libi Berenson and I need these specific feminine products because that's what I'm using. That's what we're trying to create. And thanks for sharing the story, and thanks for sharing it with others, because if everyone would do the same, we could just collectively do so much more.
So much. And I'm curious to know, though, tell me the story of Geenees. And I'm pronouncing correctly, yes?
Yeah, you're perfect. Just I was so impressed. I was like, good job.
I'm so happy. Tell me the story. How did that idea come to mind? Why Geenees? Just take us through that whole...
Sure. So I have two boys, 7 and 4. And after my second son, Liam, was born, we did a small baby party. And interestingly enough, the friends came in and we received the same gift 4 times. Honestly, the same gift 4 times. And I felt so bad because people spent money on it and thought. and I really appreciated it, but we actually needed other stuff, but I couldn't tell that. And there's some registries and other platforms that I guess I could have used. But what didn't work with them is that I needed to create my own list, but then share it. So basically say, hey, Marina, this is what I need. Please buy this for me. And so that didn't feel comfortable for me. So this is how the idea sparked initially. And then we created our first iteration of Geenees, which was for personal use. So basically for friends, families, kids' birthdays, for me to say, hey, I have a birthday for my kid, and these are the things that he really loves. And I don't need another set of this and this and this. Don't use your money for things that unfortunately they will not appreciate. So this is how they will appreciate, but they just have too much. And that's eventually how it started. And then it was completely for personal use and for friends and family, and we did it completely part-time for people. And then fast forward, we always had that idea in the team that this could be really leveraged to the social impact space and to help people that really need items on a day-to-day basis. And so in 2019, last year, we really started working with nonprofits to understand how does it work on their end, and how can we tailor this platform that we created for them specifically. And interestingly enough, it didn't only close the gaps around families that had that need, but also and donors definitely that wanted to fill that connection, like you were saying. Interestingly enough, it created much more value than that for nonprofits. And so what I mean by that is their usual donation process is really complicated. And so how that usually works is they're working with hundreds of families that need help with on a day-to-day basis, right? And then they need to collect the need first. So every family has kids, several kids. Every kid needs specific boots, specific sizes, specific whatever, right? Some families have allergies, like they're really specific needs. And so they need to collect the need, the nonprofit itself, with the help of volunteers, outreach workers, so many kind of hours going into just collecting their wish lists. And then they need to fundraise, right? So they need to receive the cash from somewhere. So they need to fundraise for the organization to support all these families. And then they need to go and take that money. Hopefully they have the cash or they have some of it. And then they go to different stores and purchase these items specifically based on a list, right? They're bringing it to the organization. They need volunteers to gift wrap, to check for quality, if it's secondhand donations, to match, to track every single thing. And then they need to deliver, right? So this whole process is actually super easy right now. So right now, these nonprofits are getting listed on Geenees, so they have an account on Geenees. We work with nonprofits directly, so it's not everyone in the public can be a family in need. These nonprofits are actually choosing these families to be on Geenees. And so nonprofits are getting listed, they're inviting their families, we're giving specific personal invitation codes for these families. They're getting listed on Geenees and they're signing up, creating their wish list completely anonymously. And then donors in the public have immediate visibility to what they need. And they're sending it directly either to the organization or the family, depends on what the organization is deciding. So it's kind of like saving all this huge process that we didn't know that we can actually really help with. And so that's how we launched last year in October. We launched with two really amazing organizations, BCA2 Student Association and Burnaby Neighborhood House as our first beta, really good partners. And then, and this year, of course, with COVID, the need is growing more and more. And now we're really kind of in a space where we know this is working. We validated it. It's needed for all three parties, nonprofits, families, and donors. And now how do we scale it? How can we make it even more impactful? And so that's what the team is working on. Right now, we're a team of 15 people, advisors, contractors, employees, volunteers, all kind of coming together and trying to really help and connect all these three users.
I love that. And it's really, like the amount of time I spend more than crying than actually making it happen, because it really is that easy. You're like, sign up in a couple of clicks, like the list is there. You just go click, 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 and that's it. And really, because you can also choose what items you're giving, you can buy as many as you want for as many
Only
families,
just
or you
one.
can just buy, yeah, with just one thing. And still, it's, and impact really is twofold. I realized one is, the item that the person's getting, but also two, it's the emotional, right? For people knowing they're not alone, and
Yeah,
that there are other people there and to support, right? Because
yeah,
the feeling of loneliness right now, I think, is prevalent in all of us. But the more you're going through a hard time and you're struggling, you feel even more lonely. So this just gives this feeling of, right, you're being
exactly.
supported, and so easy to do.
Yeah, and it's and like you're saying, it's a two-way street. So yes, these families feel like there's hope, there's joy, there's somebody there that I can connect with and understands me and my story. But the second thing is, and science proves it, like over and over again, when you give, you create so many good, happy hormones for yourself, right? The helper's high, or there's different terminology for it, but you yourself actually treat yourself with kind of a dose of endorphins that will help you with mental health, with loneliness. You feel much, much, much better. And science proves the fact that, like, when we give, we're actually much happier than when we receive, which is
Mhm.
really interesting. So yeah, it definitely goes both ways. Really important right now, especially this year. Like, we need to help, and everyone wants to help in whatever way they can. People want to do good. People want to be better. They want to do their best. Sometimes the circumstances and the environment really impacts how you can do that. So, and just a note on that, we encourage any type of help. You don't have to purchase through Geenees. You don't have to do this um, in this specific way. Please find whatever way that works for you. If you don't have the money but you have time, volunteer. If you can't find, if you don't want to kind of go for a specific family, or you cannot volunteer and you just don't have time to do a lot of things, then just give some cash or some donation and a gift to a specific person. Whatever you can do in your own environment will bring joy, not only to that person, but only to you, also to you, to yourself.
It's very true. And, to say two things that are in line with what you were saying. So, one, I was at a Simon Sinek talk in March. So, my Pernixia co-founder and I, we were in New York the day that they announced the state of emergency. So, like that day, so we were like at the Simon Sinek talk. We walked out, and the announcement came out that, like, we're shutting down pandemic. But when I was at that event, I'm like, Simon Sinek is amazing, big inspiration. I'm a huge fan of his work. And so when I was, but one of the things he said specifically was what you just said, that when you are giving, you feel happier, you feel less stressed, and all those benefits. And I have to be really honest with you, I didn't quite get it. Like, to me, it sounded like those, like, a lot of things that people say, like those theoretical things, and they're like, yeah, yeah. It sounded like that.
Yeah.
But stayed somewhere in my mind, but didn't really sink in as I internalized it. During the pandemic, when we first went into lockdown, I don't know why, but I went on LinkedIn and put a link to my calendar saying, anybody who's struggling, anybody who lost a job, if you want to chat, I'm here for you. And as I was putting it, I'd never done that before. I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And I did that. And then people started booking calls, and I was feeling really good that, you know what, at least I'm there and I'm going to, help people, etc. But then there was a moment where I realized I'm getting really something deep out of this as far as how I feel that I can't really explain.
Yeah.
And that was the moment, and I had like a Simon Sinek thought bubble on the side that was like, when you open yourself up to others, you feel good and you feel better about whatever struggle you're experiencing in your own difficulty. So that's very true.
Yeah.
And number two, to answer what you said about very different kinds of giving in different ways. So, this year, of course, there are no holiday concerts in hospitals or in senior residences, right? None of that. So my daughter, she was in the choir. She used to participate in those things and would go to hospitals or residences, and they would come in and like sing and perform and spread holiday cheer. Not this year. And so one of the mothers from a girl that's in her class decided to create a long video compilation. So create, but like a well done, edited of all those kids performing in their home. So she just sent the message to the school saying, if your kid wants to perform, sing, dance, whatever, tell a rhyme, whatever they want, send me the video, we'll edit it, we'll make it into like just a video and have them say something. So they had to say, like, I hope this brings you joy and like that.
Aww.
And just creating it, and like how beautiful, right? How beautiful
Yeah.
for children to take a moment and just think that they're doing something, and then that video will be, showcased and will be sent in. So there are different ways to, beyond what we usually think, because a lot of things we can't do this year.
Exactly, and that these all any initiative is appreciated and hugely important right now. And one thing around children, I do believe that we have an impact on our children when we're showing them these types of behaviors, right? My kids are really involved actually in the business, and they know what we're experiencing. They know we had a fun story around Mother's Day. We did an interesting experiment where we did open it once the pandemic started. We did open it to the public. We said, everyone need help right now. You know what? Just sign up on Geenees and we'll get you to create your wish list. So we did that experiment for a couple months. And eventually we had to close it because it just took so much resource from us instead of kind of giving our time and effort into all organizations out there. We had to kind of focus on that group. And so we definitely gave them gifts, but we had to kind of shift again back to nonprofits. But through that experiment, it was Mother's Day, and the kids, my kids, were helping them create. They actually drawn cards for Mother's Day, did like pictures for them that we actually went and drove and gave them personally, handwritten notes and pictures from the kids. And so the kids are involved in that creation. Well, for me, it's easier because this is our life, I guess. My husband and I created it together, and they're really involved in this creation. But even if you give donations, secondhand, firsthand, whatever you can, and you involve your kids into just having that in mind every day or every whenever you can, that's something that they're growing into. Understanding as a habit is something that, yes, we should do this. This is always helpful, and it helps them not only to give back, but also appreciate what they have right now and value the things that they have. So there's a lot of impact here. So not only for the family, not only for yourself, but also on your family, on your family and your kids and in your environment. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, my daughter in particular was taken aback by all of my like emotion and tears, and so I was telling her, she's like, why are you crying? And I was like, this is just, yeah. We have a question, so let's answer the question, and then I have a couple of other things I wanted to chat about. So Sumia, hi Sumia, he says, hi Marina and Libby. Many a time while we give out of our own will, there's a sense of expectation which gets attached. So philosophical question. Of course, Sumia would ask a deep philosophical question. That's what he does. So there is a sense of expectation which gets attached. I may not be a dominant one, however, it grows over time. Please advise how to manage it and channel the energy to giving and sharing with the less privileged. So I guess he says that, it's a more philosophical questions, and we talk about things like that, right? When we think about giving, and when people are, on the receiving end, does it create, a sense of, how they say there's the expression of you can give somebody a fish, or you can give them a rod and teach them how to fish. Yeah. Do you feel that when people are on the receiving end of donations, that it creates an expectation and dependency? And you tell me, Sumia, if I didn't get the question right.
Oh, so expectation on the receiving end. if it creates an expectation on the receiving end, I depends, I guess, on the process of that specific gift or the individual. I do think there's value in those small moments of hope and joy, because that's what drives us forward and motivates them to succeed and really be better for their own selves and for their kids as well. So I don't think it creates dependency. They're not there so that they will always get gifts from donors. That's not the case. But I guess the expectation is that I think, like, it's what you said. Like, if they get that feeling of hope and joy in that moment that really, really critical, or they're struggling, they're gonna pass it on when they're getting out of that specific situation. And so I think that's what we're creating, even more than just like that one-time gift. It's that feeling of, okay, now you're in a struggle. Let's get you over that hump, and once you're there, you can start kind of taking steps towards something greater. So I hope that I answered that question. I feel like
Yeah, you definitely did. And I think, if I were to add to it, I mean, it's twofold, right? There are things that we do to, just to champion social causes that, create kind of that overarching change or inspire overarching change. And then there are those things that we do to, impact in the moment, right? It's not going to change the big problem or the big issue, but in the moment, the impact is huge and it goes a very long way, right?
Exactly.
So what it makes me think of is, before COVID, and now I'm in the state of a bit of paranoia. I'm not that COVID paranoid, but I used to always, if I'm at a red light and there's a homeless person asking for money, I would always give money. And now I'm very paranoid to open windows. I'm in the car, usually with kids. And I used to always do that. And so my daughter would ask me when she was younger, she's like, Mommy, but why are you giving money to that man? He's going to spend it on, something that's not good. Mm-hmm. And I would say to her, that's not for me to decide, the continuity of somebody's, right, like life and life's decisions. Yeah. I said, in this moment, he feels better because somebody cared. And if his life is drugs and alcohol and smoking, etc., that is his choice and his life. And, that's not for us to decide, right? But then as a society, hopefully we're working on things to combat homelessness. But in the moment, I'm like, it's not for me to decide. So same with, giving, like, I just want to make sure a kid has socks, Yeah. And how that mother is as a mother, it could be that somebody's struggling is momentary, and we all go through life's ups and downs that are beyond our control. Could be a mother that is sitting on her behind doing nothing to support a child. Could be, like, it's possible. I don't care. I'm not there to judge. I just want that kid to have socks on the toy for the holidays, right? Like, I just want that.
Yeah, and there's a few things here. First of all, we need both. We need longer term solutions, 100%, right? But we also need that human connection once in a while to just like help people that need it. And so to make sure that it's not these donations on Geenees going to the right person, that's why we work with nonprofits. They're the ones, the outreach workers, who choose who the family that will go into Geenees and request these things specifically. And so all these initiatives are important. And one thing that you said is, like, choose what is in your control. What is in your control specifically that you can do to help others? And yeah, it's on them to decide how to do it. But that's why specifically we chose to go with products and services. So, for example, one thing that we added this year is dental services. So to your point, you as a donor can donate $20, let's say, or $50. It goes directly to the dental service providers, to the dentist that the family chose. And it sits there from like an online donation box that is waiting for that family. So you're not giving $20 or $50 to the family, and then you're like, I don't know what it's going to be used for. It actually goes to dental treatments only. And so we want to make sure that donors understand that, and they know that this money is actually spent for something. 100% of that toy goes to the kid, right? Or so it's that direct that we're trying to create to give the feeling of that special specific effect that they're looking for.
Yeah. And as you said, whatever the impact is to the person receiving, the impact on the end when you're giving is really magical.
Exactly.
Okay, so I did not know that there was such a thing as is it called National or Annual Giving Day?
Yes, Giving Tuesday, December 1st. Giving
Mm.
Tuesday, yeah.
I didn't know that that was a thing. That's a thing. Like, is it an American thing, North American thing?
No, it's a global.
It's a global.
It's a
Wow.
global initiative. It's huge. And so on December 1st, everyone are giving in their own way. So people are volunteering, people are giving secondhand products, firsthand products, anything that you can do. December 1st is just a huge campaign to start the holiday season. So that's really exciting. So super encouraged to do. And I don't know if you've heard, but the team, Geenees team, we always knew that we want to kind of contribute something from ourselves. And let me just step back for a second. One of the questions that we're getting asked is, how do we make money? How do we make
Mhm.
money, right? And
Right.
so we are not a fundraising platform. 100% of the donation goes to the family. We actually found a really interesting, unique way to grow our business or to create that as a business. We are a for-profit business in a nonprofit space. So the way that we do it is that leverage partnerships, affiliate partnerships. So for example, we're leveraging Amazon affiliate at this moment as affiliate program that is usually used for bloggers and linking other products, right? And so we're basically leveraging that program to bring products that families need directly to them. So that's one piece. So basically for every transaction, we're receiving a small percentage from Amazon, not from anybody, not from the nonprofits, and from the families, and definitely not from the donors. So so that's kind of a unique way where we found we
That's
can
genius.
scale this.
That's really smart. When you told me that, I was like, oh my God, that is really smart. How did you think of that? Or was it your husband?
Um,
Or how did you think of that?
You know, it's yeah, it's we're me and my husband are always working like a puzzle together. So it's somehow we came up with this. It's we really wanted to make sure that those three users are getting the most value, and we're not impacting them in a way that is just like, I don't know. It's the value is there. The win-win-win situation is there for everyone, and so we want to create that. We might, I will say that we might add a small fee for nonprofits next year because we need the commitment purposes. We need them to prioritize. So there are some probably a small fee that will need to go into it, but that's going to be really, really kind of just for the commitment and prioritization purposes. But yeah, so that's the affiliate is how it works. And so the reason that I'm saying it is because when we scale this and it was continue to expand and hopefully to US soon, we want to make sure that people know that this is growing, and the fact that everyone's helping and being a part of this journey is helping all these pieces together and kind of leveraging that a lot more than just a one donation. So that's important to say. Yeah, there was another piece there that you were saying, and I
Yes,
lost.
this December 1st, the giving day. And there was something you mentioned to me, but I wanted you to
Oh
explain.
yeah,
You're doing something
yeah. Sorry
on
about
that
that.
day.
I lost track. So December 1st, as a company, we knew that we definitely want to incorporate donations ourselves as our corporate social responsibility for our organizations out there as we grow. And so I'm so happy to say that this year we're starting. So 10% of all donations, not from the revenue, but all donations on Geenees on December 1st will go to Pacific Immigrant Research Society and their Winter Warmth campaign to create to bring close and kind of really happy moments to families out there. So 10% of all donations on Giving Tuesday in Geenees, no matter what organization, no matter in what way, if you're donating on Geenees on December 1st, we will give 10% from that to the Pacific Immigrant Research Society. So really encourage. These are Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and December 1st are the biggest kind of donation days. So leverage that moment to create more impact.
That's so cool. And then you said immigrant society, and I was like, immigrant society too.
I know. I'm an immigrant twice. I know. I immigrated twice myself in my life, so definitely, I know.
From where?
Sorry?
From where?
Oh, so I was born in Russia. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's my accent. Nobody people are always guessing if it's French, if it's not. No, it's a Russian Israeli mixed together with English. So it's like 3 languages in my head, all kind of mixing up and creating this interesting, I guess, accent. Yeah. So when I was 4, we moved to Israel, lived there for 25 years, and then we moved here about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. Where in Russia were you born?
Oh, it's called Gorky. You probably know. I don't know. Do you know?
What's it close to?
It's like Nizhny Novgorod.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's like 3 hours from Moscow. That's what I know. I don't remember anything, honestly.
Right, you were little.
Yeah.
Oh my God, really cool. Didn't know that. Okay, we'll speak about that separately. That's amazing. And Nadia just shared that she's launching a small e-commerce business and will be selling secondhand clothing and giving a percentage of sales to women in need.
Yes, let's partner. And that brings me to another initiative, really secret. So nobody tell anything right now. But it's going to be announced soon. We are partnering. I'm not going to say the name yet, but we started with Amazon because they're trusted delivery. They have a variety of products, and we could trust their technology. It's not the long-term plan. If anyone has like things about, okay, Amazon, we started because it could give us what we needed, and we could give these options to the families. But we're actually partnering with different providers and partners around Canada, local businesses, women-owned businesses, and not. So it's actually expanding to be local. So we're really excited about it. It's going to bring even much more value in Canada.
I love that. So that could be a great opportunity, Nadia. So you should connect and reach out. Okay, so LinkedIn friends. So what we need to do is put December 1st in our calendars. And on December 1st, instead of going on another virtual, non-virtual shopping spree of things that we don't really need, we'll go on Geenees and we will just all together give to people in need, and let's share that. And then let's share that whatever social media platform you're on most or all of them, let's share so that other people can do the same as well. And it will just be a feel-good day, which again, we're all in big need of, right? And we'll feel that we are a community that comes together and helps out and is united. And it will be a beautiful, beautiful day. So I'll certainly be posting and reminding, but if you can all put it in your calendar, December 1st, and tell others that it's an International Day of Giving. I had no idea, something new to learn. Yeah. And if you do have an e-commerce business that you think could be something, potentially to discuss for a partnership with Libi, please connect and reach out. And Libi, I thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And I'm really glad that I saw that post and, investigated your line of work further.
Thank you.
It's really awesome.
Can I add a couple? Just like a small note. So I want everyone to know that this is a self-funded business completely. We completely started it. We're bootstrapping. It's the beginning. We found that this could be helpful. This is helpful for so many different people. But we want people to be a part of this. I'm a true believer in my coaching business, my coaching world. My core values are trust, impact, and honesty. So we are believers in kind of taking the community, helping us in that journey, and give us feedback, ideas. How can we get better? We have so many different initiatives and ideas of how we can leverage what we have already. But if you find anything that you kind of have thoughts about, please be a part of this journey. We have a public Trello board where you can comment, vote on different ideas. After dental services, it's going to be eyewear. and different other services for families in need. So if you are a partner that could be part of this, or you want to just share some ideas that you have, we're always here to just listen and implement. So thank you so much for being not only a donor, but also an advocate and kind of an ambassador for this. I really, really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. No, the spotlight's on you and all the work that you do. Thank you again for it. We'll continue collaborating and, shining the light on all of your progress and all the awesome stuff that you're doing. And I'm very proud that I only teared up once during this conversation. Here I go again. But thank you for all of your beautiful work. Thank you to all of you who listened to us, who tuned in.
Yeah.
Reach out. Don't forget calendar December 1st. And, together we really do make an impact. And it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Marina. Thank you, everyone.